over 100 cases and taken guilty pleas in thousands of cases and argued before state Supreme Court, I would be willing to suggest that your experts are wrong, because under our law, circumstantial evidence is deemed equal to direct evidence, such as an eyewitness. In many, many cases, Piers, and you know this very well, in many cases, you don't have an eyewitness to a crime. Murders, rapes, child molestations, they don't happen out on the street all the time. They happen behind closed doors. So often there is not direct evidence of a crime. The state relies on circumstantial evidence, as they did in this case. Now, you're telling me that they don't think there was enough hard evidence. And I assume that you are referring to direct evidence. There was a mountain of evidence pointing to guilt in this case. And I need, Piers, and you can laugh into your fist if you want, but on day 2 of jury deliberations, when the juror came in wearing a suit that morning, he knew they were going to announce a verdict. And what that says to me is that in less than, say, 8 hours, they had gone through weeks of testimony. They didn't even go through all the testimony before they reached their verdict. And I think that that's wrong.
I agree with you that the amount of time they spent deliberating was completely unacceptable for a case of this complexity. I think that was, I would certainly criticize them for that. But I still come back to the main legal point, which very eminent lawyers have said to me, on both sides of the argument, many of them agreeing that if it had been left to them, they would have convicted, but they could understand why the jury felt there just wasn't enough to be completely certain what had happened. If I was on a jury, I would want to see from my fellow jurors, would you? I mean, you must accept that.
Well, once again, under our American system of jurisprudence, the law is that you don't have to explain to a jury, although I would like to explain to a jury exactly how a murder occurred, but should a defendant such as Top Mom Casey Anthony get a gold star or a benefit because we cannot determine cause of death, because she had the body hidden for so long it decomposed out in a swamp? And when I think of this child being thrown out in a swampy makeshift pet cemetery for her body to decompose, for animals to pull her limbs apart and gnaw on her bones, why should Top Mom get a benefit because the child was so decomposed? The law says she does not. And your question was dead on, Piers. You said a lot of people don't know how it happened. I don't know how it happened. I don't know, did she smother her? Did she put tape over her nose and mouth? Did she give her too much chloroform? I don't know that. But I know this child was killed. I know she lied about it. I know she put the child in the car trunk and put tape over her mouth and nose, and she died.
Well, Nancy, look, powerful stuff from you. I'd expect nothing else. When we come back after the break, I want to talk to you about Casey Anthony now she's been released and what kind of life we can expect to see her leading.
The sweet life. She had a